There's this quote that says that low self-esteem is like driving through life with the handbrake on. And up until a couple of years ago, I couldn't have related with a quote more. In fact, a couple of years ago, I had no self-esteem. I had no confidence, to the point where I had a full-blown anxiety attack over going out in public. I was terrified to be seen, and I was just consumed with insecurities. Now, what inspired me to make this video is the fact that I've just found myself in a very parallel position as I was 5 years ago when I had that anxiety attack, and I was reflecting on just how much of a different person I am today compared to the person I was then. And I got thinking about confidence and how to cultivate self-esteem, how to improve our body image, how to feel more self-assured. And I could highlight a few things that I have really consciously done to work on my confidence and to work on my self-esteem. And I wanted to share them today because I think that they might be useful. One of the first things I did was start setting performance-based goals. As somebody that was really consumed with just how I looked and wrapped up in my shitty body image, to start shifting my focus to actually what my body could do helped me gain a new sense of pride and accomplishment. There's a lot to be said from setting goals that have nothing to do with the way that your body looks and everything to do with the effort you put in, because no one can take that away from you. And there is a different sense of pride that you get when you accomplish hard things. When you set a goal and you accomplish it, you feel like you're achieving, and there's value to be derived from that. And this really helped me to stop focusing just on how I looked, but rather what my body was capable of. The second thing I started doing was yoga, and let me tell you, I never thought I'd be a yogi, let alone a yoga teacher. If you haven't watched my fitness journey, I'll link that in the description below, but basically as far as exercise was concerned, I was a sucker for punishment. Anything that felt grueling and resulted in lots of calories being burnt and lots of sweat being produced, I was like, sign me up. Yoga, on the other hand, seemed really boring and like a waste of time. But I'm so glad I found it. I gave it a chance because it has genuinely changed my life. Yoga has taught me self-compassion. It has taught me how to be present. It has taught me acceptance for how I am and who I am on the day, how my body feels. And much like point one, it's helped me shift my focus away from just what my body looks like into actually, how does my body feel? I'm able to ask myself the question of, what do I need today? And understanding that I am a human that's going to fluctuate. And yoga's taught me that. Number 3, I stopped checking photos immediately after they were taken. I used to be so chronic for asking someone to take like 100 photos of me, and then I'd pick out 2 or 3 of the best ones. But this was really dangerous, and this was doing me no favors for my confidence or my self-esteem, because in not accepting that, yes, I look like those 2 or 3, but I also look like the other 97, I was just curating this image of myself that even I couldn't live up to. Because the reality is, I looked like all 100 photos. And so I can't remember why I got this idea or why I started doing this, but I just stopped checking photos after they were taken. I'd ask someone to take 1 or 2 photos of me to capture the memory, which was the whole point of having the photo taken in the first place, and then just accept it, because that's how I look. And this deep, deep acceptance is so powerful. It's like giving yourself permission to just be yourself. And there is a level of confidence that comes from that as a practice. Number 4, I improved my self-talk. Now this one is certainly a practice, and it's not one that I get right all the time, but the way that we talk to ourselves is so important, and it plays such a big role in our self-esteem. If we're constantly picking ourselves apart, putting ourselves down, of course we're gonna feel like trash. So something that I really like to practice is when I notice negative self-talk, when I notice that I'm really being down and being hard on myself, I ask myself, if you were to say this to your younger sister or your best friend or your mom, how would they respond? What would the consequences of this be? That alone helps me snap out of my crappy self-talk and start to reframe things. And even if I can't say something nice about myself, I just refrain from saying negative shit about myself. You know, the old saying of like, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. It goes for us too. The way we talk to ourselves is so important. So I really try to practice talking to myself the way that I would talk to someone that I really care about. Because ultimately the relationship I have with myself is the longest one I do have in my life. And it's nice to have a nice place to live, which is our head. And number 5, I share my journey with people I trust. Like, the reality is, I'm not perfect. I am not full of confidence and like brimming with high self-esteem every day. But on those days when I have my moments, I just share it with people I trust, and I know that they're going to build me up and they're going to call me out if I'm being wrong, or they're going to ask me questions about where those feelings are coming from. And in sharing it and then talking it through with people I love and that love me, it's a lot easier because I don't let myself sit on these things. I don't let myself just like stew on these negative feelings, and getting it out, processing it makes a world of difference. So these 5 things have made a world of difference to my confidence and my self-esteem. I would love to know which one of these stood out for you and if you plan on practicing them. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a like. I'll see you in the next one.